Today's message is for your brothers, your male friends, your male cousins, and you yourself, the male folks. Pay attention. So, dear decent men, here are 5 types of women that are dangerous for your life. You have to be in the category of decent for you to even know what to avoid, or for you to even think you're fit to be taking this advice. Because even if you are anyhow, you will go and match up with anyhowness. Who is a decent man? A decent man does not objectify women. He doesn't see them as just objects, like they're not human beings, they're just playthings. He doesn't see them that way. He doesn't see a woman as someone who he must lord over. He is you know, some men even go as far as saying that a woman they marry into their family is an outsider. It is their immediate wife, mothers that are their families. So you have to ask them, where did your mother come from before she became your father's wife? So it means she's an outsider in your family as well. Funny ideologies that don't make sense. A decent man takes responsibility for those under his watch, his sisters, his brothers, anybody who he has to serve as guardian over. Takes responsibility in terms of checking them, in terms of providing for them, defending them, protecting them where necessary. If you are not doing this, you are just there living your life, you're on autopilot, you don't care about people, you are not. This is my own standard of a decent man. It may not be another person's standard, but these are my own standards, and I believe some of them are also generally acceptable standards of who counts as a decent and responsible man. A decent man cleans up after himself. He doesn't think it has to be others who will do it for him. He doesn't think that the females in his life, his wife or sisters, are there to serve him. He also understands that taking responsibility comes from a place of also serving others, and that's how he gets respect. So he's not just demanding respect by virtue of being male. He takes responsibility. You are conscious of the emotions of others around you, and you don't just behave anyhow. In short, you wash your boxers. Some male folks are just not clean. You have good sense of decency, good sense of manners, you carry yourself well, hygiene. You know, you are conscious of these things. These are some of the examples of a decent man. You're not just sleeping around with random females. You're not having baby mamas here and there that you don't care for. You don't care for the kids. This is not part of decency. And some of you come online even with your very funny behaviors, and you'll be taking pictures and saying a king here. Do you know what a king is? You know the virtues, the charisma that a king exudes. You think it's just a word that you throw around. That's not the case. I personally, one thing that makes me know that in truth there are decent men is born out of some family members I have and some male friends that I have. I've seen how they behave with their families. I've seen the values they hold true, and these are the people who I use to set the example that yes, indeed, they are decent men who want to do right, even when maybe what you see out there, what seems to be the norm, speaks otherwise, but they set that example. And sometimes I'm worried for them because I don't know, they say life no balance, right? You will find sometimes a very good guy ends up with a very funny woman. You can't just, the behavior is not coordinating. You don't understand, there's no compatibility. And maybe the guys saw some red flags, just the same way we tell ladies, maybe you see some red flags and you ignore. There are things maybe guys do not take account of at a very conscious level, and that's why they may miss some of the signs they should not have overlooked, which will end up making them have issues. So now that we have talked a bit about who a decent man is, let's talk about the kinds of women you should avoid. Number one of the very good inherent traits in women is they are good managers of resources. And then you now have a babe, maybe you're still dating, and she's a spendthrift. She doesn't care how you make that money. She just wants it to continue to be in, you know, flowing supply. Let me use the word flowing supply. She doesn't also understand that there are seasons. There will be seasons when there isn't as much. In fact, the fact that she doesn't even care or know how you make your money or really care about the job you do should raise alarms in your head, you know, because, and I'm saying this especially for people thinking of building a life with someone, because of course that's what will make you decent. Like I said, I'll be revisiting what makes you decent. People who want to play around with other people, I do not consider them decent. Like, what are you doing with your life? How do you not respect your body that you're sleeping around? So I am talking to people who are thinking of making a life with someone. And so you don't want a woman that is a spendthrift. You don't want a woman that doesn't care how you make your money, what you do at work. She can't be bothered. And so when there is less, she doesn't even understand. She doesn't want to understand. In her own world, it has to be there. You have to answer to my needs. It should really be a red flag for you if you have someone, a lady, a woman around you behaving this way. And most times you may find that girls or ladies who behave this way do not also know the value of work. They themselves have not worked. They don't really work. They are just all about someone else should take care of that lifestyle for me. That's not what you want. That is dangerous for you. Avoid that. Number 2, so you have this babe. You send 2K, that urgent 2K. She go see him, she no go acknowledge him. Even if the money pass 2K, have you seen the money? I saw it. Thank you will not follow. Entitled human beings, whether they be male or female, but then we are talking about female. Entitled people who feel it is their rights or you are obligated to do things for them. Now, some of us find this kind of people even within our families. You know, they will frustrate you even when you know you're doing your best. They will make you feel useless. So if you're getting these signs, this vibe from someone, you're still in talking stages, you're still in dating stages, you should run. Now is the time to run, because you're about to tie yourself into a lifetime of feeling like you're not enough, you didn't do enough, you've not been doing enough. Grateful people, the very little, most micro things, they'll be grateful for it, because they also understand it's not about the item or the thing in itself, it's the thoughts, it's the effort that went into doing that thing for them. So you do not want to be with an entitled woman. But if you like wahala sha, you don't like peace, go ahead. The competitive and jealous kind of woman. So she sees other people living a certain kind of lifestyle. She sees her friends or family members, and she wants to always be, say, on the same level. She's not solid in herself. She's not calm. She's not grounded in herself. So she's competitive. She's thinking, I have to have what that person has. Mine has to be better. Jealousy, it reeks in her. You know, you see these behaviors. Again, do not overlook them, because you will be the one to also pay the price. You will be there sitting and hearing how your wife, if eventually you do marry the person, is the jealous type, she's the competitive type. When you have a very funny partner, their behavior, their doings will rub off on you one way or the other. If they pass for road now, they will be doing yimu for you, like, look at him, you know. But all that aside, the competitive woman will also make you spend a lot of money in trying to keep up with the Johnsons, or how do they say that thing? You know, you're trying to keep up, you're trying to live in the best neighborhoods, drive good cars just because someone else did. It doesn't matter whether you can afford it or not. You do not want this kind of woman. Now, if you're the kind of man who loves to learn, growth is an important part of your life. Whatever part that growth is in your career, or you just generally love learning new things, you really don't want a woman who is just okay being the same year in, year out. On the long run, you are going to suffer it. You will not be able to have intelligent conversations. You'll begin to find conversations with other females outside more interesting. Now, it's not like a person may be at a certain level when you meet them, but the question again around this is, are they teachable, number one, and are they willing to even allow you have an impact on them? Are they ready to learn? Are they ready to improve? Are they even ready to say, oh, I want to become better at this? I believe every human being should grow. You should not remain the same as you were last year. There should be growth. Even last month, there should be something new, you know, because you read, you're exposing yourself to new information. The world is just too vast, too big for you to remain the same. There is just a lot to know. So if you're that kind of person, that kind of man, who is keen on learning, who is keen on growth, you want to run away from a woman that is not ready to learn. Because last she will tell you, look, you're choking me. You know this is how I am. I'm not interested in blah, 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 blah. You would frustrate your own self. So it's best to avoid certain things now rather than think that later they will be remedied. If already you've tried, even in your dating phase, and there is no improvement, it's time to pick your running shoes, brother, and run. Number 5. Now, you know, there are some women whose mouths will always move faster than their brains, like they're just firing like a machine gun. Yeah, afterwards they might apologize, but if it's their pattern already, if it's their behavior that they nag a lot, they fight a lot, there are people that when they are fighting, they say the most terrible things. Now, I'm going to share this thing I read somewhere. This man said when he was still dating his wife, oh, rather it's the wife that shared, actually. She was talking about how that thing he said changed how she thinks. That while they were still dating, they had a fight and she came all out for him, you know, saying angry things. And he paused and looked at her and said, when we are fighting, even when we have misunderstandings, is this really how you want us to have an exchange? Is this the right way for us to address the matter? And when he said that, it was just like something in her brain, just, you know, like a switch. Like, that is a very valid question. Yes, people can have misunderstandings, but there's a way to fight correctly. You can fight with someone and express yourself, what you're not pleased with. You may leave the space in that moment, but there are people that their words destroys things forever in some cases. There are cases where words have destroyed things. I think there's a saying that words are like eggs. If broken, it's never the same again, really, even when you try to patch it up back together. So you don't want a woman who nags a lot, fights with everybody. Everybody in her life is not good enough. She fought with her friend, she has fought with somebody, and she's treating you special. It's just a matter of time. You will be at the receiving end of all that nagging, all that fighting. And something I always say is there's an age people reach that you can say they are kind of set in their ways. It will take a lot of serious introspection, self-awareness, and humbleness to a great extent for anyone, male or female, to actually acknowledge behaviors they have that are not right, which they need to fix. And I will end this by saying, remember, the partner you end up with can make your life better or can make it worse. They can make or mar you. You decide. So for decent guys, decent guys, you're even in your single season, you're trying to do right by yourself and by others. Please do not end up with the wrong kind of women. There are many out there. there are many out there. Do not overlook certain things. Do not take what should be not priority and make it priority. For some persons, it's beauty. You know, beauty is not a bad thing. Be attracted to who you want to be with. But when you begin to see these signs, run. Thanks for watching The 5 with Miriam. I hope you found this useful. Do subscribe to the channel and share this widely. See you next time.